Good morning, good afternoon, or good day, whatever time of day it is when you're watching this. My name is Alan. We are in a 2010 Chevrolet Impala 9C1 police package vehicle. That doesn't mean I'm a cop. Welcome to the channel. So, for today's video, I figure might as well go back around the inside of the car and show you guys what the car looks like now that I've sort of been driving it around for a little while. I think there's my old auction video there when I got it back from the auction, kind of, I guess, fresh after pickup. It was pretty disgusting. It isn't in the cleanest condition right now, but it's a little bit better than it was. So, figure I'd take you guys around the car and at least show you what I got in here. So, one of the first things that we did is actually went out and bought a steering wheel cover because for some reason these steering wheels in general get kind of marred up over time, and I'm sure anybody else has an old police package vehicle or any vehicle that's been in service for either a company or the government. What happens is the edge of the steering wheel up here starts to wear, get sun faded, people driving it start to wear in spots. Right here you can kind of see where the steering wheel is kind of worn from when it was in service, and there's some spots down here where you can kind of see where it's a little chewed up. We do have cruise control on this car. We don't have the little I guess little shifter piece here. Some of these vehicles come equipped with a package where you can have kind of like a sports shifter kind of thing with the plus and minus over here. And then on this side, some vehicles will come with the Bluetooth thing on the steering wheel, but yeah, this is a cop car, so it doesn't really have that kind of stuff. Wasn't packaged that way. But if you look at the key fob, I do have a remote start, which is kind of interesting. Other than that, you got the gauge cluster right here. There's a gazillion miles on this thing, 157, 773 miles, 84 degrees outside here in beautiful Florida. One thing I think is interesting is this doesn't like to turn off. So you can turn it to the off position and it kicks right back over to auto. And I don't know if it's just packaged that way or how that works, but it's just how it is. Trunk release, I guess this is the dimmer for the lights. You know, over here, just regular turn signal control with the wiper. And then of course you got the column shifter over here. So got the, let's see if we can get the sun glare off of there. So we got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then your lower gears. Got some fuel in it finally. These are controls so you can see the display. Got the radio on military time because then there's no confusing what time of day you're in. Right down here, this was pretty disgusting when we first got the car because obviously there was a bunch of police components in this area. And I guess the guy that had this had a tendency to spill his coffee or may have had one or two little mishaps with the drinks, so there was a bunch of goo and stuff down in there, which is to be expected because it's not like you can clean that stuff up when there's a big box right here with all your controls and everything else in it. But one thing I do like is they didn't drill a bunch of holes into this dash or anything, so you know, I've got some Velcro that's left over, a couple of weird little Velcro spots. So I don't know what exactly, I'm guessing over there was probably some sort of radar or something like that, because there's a little Velcro strip there, there's one here, there's one up here, and then there's one over here. So there must have been a couple of different interesting things put in here. The passenger seat's in pretty good shape. I mean, there's a little bit of wear here, but there's no big holes in it. Same with the driver's seat, and I'm kind of sitting in it, so I can't really show it to you real well, but yeah, no big holes in it. I think I got a little hole on this side somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but just a little tiny little sliver in the fabric. Now, this is something that I went and got off of eBay. This is a basically an armrest, and I already had the lower half of this here, the lower mounting post. All I needed was the upper half. So this was some new old stock that somebody was selling. I don't remember what I paid for it, but saw it, realized I needed it because I like to rest my arm over here when I drive, so this is just handy for me. And I don't know how many of you guys have, well, they call this thing a crush box underneath of here, and you're not allowed to remove this because it helps with the structure, I guess, of the car with a side impact. So it comes with these really kind of lame cup holders. So I wouldn't recommend putting any cups in those, because as soon as you hit the brakes, they just go boop right on the floor, which may explain why there was, you know, liquid in there. This thing that you see hanging right here is actually the little wire that goes up and around in one of my other videos to the dash cam. I don't have the dash cam on right now because I'm not going anywhere. And if you leave this plugged in either one of these, the dash cam will just run forever. Over here is some of the leftover, I guess, emergency lighting for the vehicle. I just kind of tucked it back up in the dash. Let's see what else is floating around in here. I still do have a couple of cage pieces. There's one here, and then there's one on the other side. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but when they were taking the cage out, I guess they left those pieces, and I actually tried to take one of those off. I don't remember if it was on the passenger side or the driver's side, but I think the bolts are kind of stuck. I was trying to unscrew them and they weren't moving, so I just said, screw it, and left them alone. Also in the back here, got my pleather seat, which you guys have probably seen the videos of me taking it apart multiple times. Over there, kind of hard to see, but there's a little dent in the door panel. I think this thing had window bars. I'd love to get the window bars back and kind of put it back in here, and maybe put the cage back in, just because I think it'd be neat. As you guys may or may not know, or may be completely unaware of, I actually kind of want to turn this vehicle back into a like a show car. You know, not a I'm gonna pretend to be the cops, I can pull people over and stress out the world. I actually want to do it as like a little show car, and I'm thinking about actually putting graphics on it at some point, but I don't know, that's probably a little further down the road. And then of course, if I do that, I'm probably gonna have to trailer it everywhere, or get some gigantic magnets that I can stick to the car. It says not in service, not official, something to that effect. And if I do put some sort of light bar on the roof of this thing, I'm gonna have to get some sort of black bag to put over it, because I don't want to accidentally bump some switches and go to jail, because that would be stupid. Yeah, that'd be stupid. Anywho, one of the other things I kind of wish I could do at some point, you know, kind of digressing here, is pick up like an old Chevy Caprice from like the mid-90s. Because even if I dress that thing up, nobody's going to believe it, so that's even better. I just think they're neat cars, and I remember back in I guess in that time period when the new, well, the last version of the Crown Vic came out in 1998, those cars were really popular. The Chevy Caprice was in the last years of the Chevy Caprice in the 90s. They stopped making them in 96, and in the early 2000s there was actually a couple of outfits out there that were doing like full refurbishment of those Chevy Caprice police vehicles. So it's kind of interesting. You see these things go full circle, where in the early 2000s people really missed their Caprice, and now that the Crown Vic is going away, you're getting a lot of law enforcement officers that are getting stuck in Impalas and other vehicles, and they go, man, I miss my Crown Vic. So it's kind of interesting, you know, to watch that kind of evolve. It makes me wonder what the next big police vehicle will be when one of these manufacturers discontinues them. You know, maybe the Charger, or you know, maybe the police interceptors or something like that. You know, when the time comes and something else replaces it, that's what I'm getting at. So I'm sure I'll see this, you know, repeatedly throughout my life, but just kind of interesting thing to think about. Other than that, up here, you guys have seen the dome light. I changed the lens on. Let me see if this thing comes on. Yeah, there we go. Nice and pretty. Nice and pretty. I don't have the red light in there either, but to work at night. But yeah, it's nice to have the newer lens. Other than that, there's probably not too much to show in here. I mean, I got my rubber floor. It needs a little bit of cleaning. I should probably vacuum it out, but yeah, I mean, that's basically the inside of the car here. Nothing too flashy. It's in pretty good shape. The dash isn't cracked. Pretty happy about that. Gonna try to take pretty good care of it, try to keep it clean the best I can. I mean, I'm not gonna be perfect all the time, obviously, but like I said, I think my ultimate goal here is at some point maybe turn this thing into some kind of little show car, and take it to little meets and things, take it to like full-on car shows. I mean, right now it's still kind of too new for that, but it's going to be really easy for me to acquire proper parts for the vehicle, since people are getting rid of those things, you know, kind of in mass. If you guys enjoyed the video, please click like. I do have a question for everybody though. If I were to get another vehicle, should I get a Crown Vic? Should I get an older cop car? I mean, part of me kind of wants like 2006 or newer Crown Vic, or like a 95 or 96 Caprice. Which one would you guys get and why? I'd love to hear the comments down there. I mean, we'll read the comments. You can't really hear comments unless I have some sort of text reader, but that's beyond the point. But I'm interested in your feedback. Would you buy like an older cop car, something that would never, ever, ever in a million years be confused with something that's in service? Or would you buy a Crown Vic, you know, if you were put in my position? Just kind of curious. I'd love to hear the feedback, want to know why, kind of, you know, if you just like it because it's something you're familiar with, that's good enough for me. I'm just curious. I want to get your feedback. If you enjoyed the video, please click like. If you enjoyed it enough to subscribe, please do subscribe. There's a little bell next to that if you want to get notified when I put up a new video. And looking forward to your feedback. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Can't believe I'm over 600 subscribers. Almost to 1,000. You guys have a great day. Love to all of you.